Hello, my amazing artist. We are going to learn how to create a monochromatic painting with a silhouette of a tree. So monochromatic. Mono means one and chromatic means color. So this artwork, we're going to use one color. Please write your name and your class code and then turn your paper over. So because this is monochromatic, we're going to create some tints and shades. We're going to use white to create some tints, because when you add white to a color, you create a tint. So with your white tempera paint, paint a small little circle in about the middle of your page. Next, you're going to pick up just a tiny bit of a hue of your choice, and you're going to add this to the white to create a tint. So I will get rid of the white, and I'm just going to mix a little bit of that blue. But I do want a really, really light value blue, so one that's almost white. So I can lay it down on my page and, I noticed that those are a little too far apart. I want it to be really, really close to a white with just a little bit of blue. So simply just add more white, mix these up, and see if this is closer to the white. It's super easy if you make a mistake. It's all about experimenting today, using white to create your tints. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna just continue. I get a little bit more blue on my brush and I start mixing it in with the white that's on my paint palette there. And I'm using just small little circles to mix the white and the blue together. And then I'm gonna take it to my page and test it out. And then I'm just going to continue this process. So with each circle or ring, I'm going to have a darker value. So it's going to get closer and closer to the pure hue, meaning I have less white in each circle. Now, since this is tempera paint, it's a liquid tempera paint. You don't need water to wake it up, but you could use a little bit of water if you're noticing it's not spreading nicely on your page. Sometimes a little bit of water will help just move the paint so that you can easily spread it around on your paper. But there you go, artists, that's basically it. You're just gonna continue making your rings of your different tints. As you get further and further out from the middle, it's going to get closer and closer to that pure hue. Okay, so I've skipped forward and I want to show you that as you get to the very end here, you want to use that pure hue to paint the very last ring. Now it's not a complete circle anymore because it's spread off of the page. But when you're finished, there you go. And I want you to go put it on the drying rack to dry. Now another technique we could do with creating a monochromatic background here is we can do what's called an ombre. So it starts from one color and it blends to the other. In this case, we're going to start with pure white, and then we're going to add, same technique, a little bit of the hue. This time I'm using green, and it's going to create a tint. I want it to be really, really close to the white, so that's why I have so much white and just a little bit of green paint. I mix these up, and then I'm going to take it to my page and lay down a straight line under that white line that I already painted. To help these blend together, I'm actually going over the white also. You can do that if you'd like. You could experiment with it, or you could just have yours more like stripes. I really wanted my values to blend together, so I'm creating more of an ombre effect where they blend together pretty seamlessly. But if you want yours to be just like firm stripes, you can do that too. Totally up to you. So as we saw in the last video, you're going to continue that technique, adding a little bit of the hue to the tints that you've already created. And that's going to create a darker and darker value, getting it closer and closer to the pure hue. Remember, if you need a little bit of water to help you spread the paint across your page, you absolutely can. Just get a little bit of it at a time, because if you get too much water, it'll become too runny and it won't really look good. Okay, friends, so I'm just skipping forward here. At the very bottom of my page, I have the pure hue, and there you go. You can see how it transitions from a really light, almost white value all the way down to the pure hue. Okay, our next step is we're going to draw a silhouette. And a silhouette is just the outside lines, but we're going to start this by drawing our Y tree technique that we've learned. So to quickly review, you draw a Y and then you make the lines thicker. We will be painting over this to create the silhouette of a tree, so it does not have to be perfect. But then continue your drawing. You're going to draw lines to make your Ys and then make them thicker. Now remember, the trunk of your tree is going to be really thick, and then the branches, as they move away from the trunk, are going to get skinnier and skinnier. So make sure you're doing that as you're creating your Y tree. Since we've already practiced drawing these before, you could practice on your whiteboard a few more times until you feel ready to draw on your painted paper. And then to make it look like there's some sort of ground, you want to draw a line of some sort. It could be curved or jagged, and that's where the tree is going to sit. Next, you'll want to draw something in the background. To draw a star, you're going to draw a diagonal line, diagonal the other way. You're going to go up diagonal, across, and diagonal down. Let's try again. Diagonal down, diagonal other way, diagonal up, across, and diagonal down. Okay, diagonal, pick up your pencil, diagonal other way. Now keep it on the paper, diagonal up, across, and down. So if you want to draw some stars, you could practice on your whiteboard first and then draw on your paper. Now it's time to paint the silhouette of your tree. So again, the silhouette is just the outside lines of a shape. And the inside is all going to be painted and filled in with black. So when we're painting today, start at the top of your page and work your way down. This is going to help your hand not smear the wet paint. And I would start with the smallest parts first, so those small Ys, then paint down to the thicker parts. Again, work from the top down. If you work from the bottom to the top, you could easily smear that wet paint and ruin that beautiful background that you worked hard on. Here's another example that I created. In this one, I wanted to add a moon to my sky. So that's an idea. You could add a moon and stars, or maybe clouds or birds or any other idea. It's up to you. You are the artist. I hope you have fun creating this monochromatic silhouette painting. I can't wait to see what you make.